The year is 2025. Donald J. Trump, defying the odds and silencing his critics, has once again taken the oath of office. His second term begins, not with a whisper, but with a roar. A promise hangs heavy in the air, a promise of radical change, of a nation remade in his image. The first 100 days, a traditional marker of presidential success, would become a whirlwind of action, a testament to Trump's unwavering belief in his own vision for America. One of the first and most audacious moves of Trump's second term was a complete overhaul of the federal workforce. This bold initiative aimed to streamline government operations and eliminate what was perceived as bureaucratic bloat. The administration believed that a leaner, more efficient federal workforce would better serve the American people and reduce unnecessary spending. Partnering with Elon Musk, now at the helm of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, the administration sought to bring Silicon Valley's innovative spirit to Washington. Musk, known for his groundbreaking work with Tesla and SpaceX, was seen as the perfect candidate to lead this transformation. His reputation for pushing boundaries and achieving the impossible made him a natural fit for this ambitious project. Trump embarked on a mission to drain the swamp like never before. This time it wasn't just about removing political adversaries but fundamentally changing how the government operated. The goal was to create a more agile and responsive federal workforce, capable of adapting to the rapidly changing needs of the nation. This required a complete rethinking of traditional government roles and responsibilities. Thousands of federal employees were shown the door, deemed unnecessary cogs in the vast government machine. The administration argued that many positions were redundant and that modern technology could handle tasks more efficiently. This move was controversial, sparking debates about the role of government and the impact on public services. Critics warned that such drastic cuts could lead to a loss of institutional knowledge and a decline in service quality. Diversity programs, seen as wasteful and divisive, were scrapped. The administration believed that these initiatives were not only costly but also counterproductive, fostering division rather than unity. This decision was met with significant backlash from advocacy groups and employees who valued these programs. They argued that diversity and inclusion were essential for a healthy and productive work environment. Labor protections were rolled back, a move met with fierce opposition from unions. The administration contended that these protections were outdated and hindered efficiency. Unions, however, saw this as an attack on workers' rights and vowed to fight back. The tension between the administration and labor groups highlighted the broader conflict over the future of work in America. The message was clear: efficiency and loyalty trumped all else in Trump's new America. The administration's actions reflected a broader vision of a streamlined, business-like government. Supporters praised the focus on efficiency and cost-cutting, while critics warned of the potential consequences for public services and employee morale. As the nation watched these changes unfold, the debate over the balance between efficiency and equity in government continued to rage. Immigration, a cornerstone of Trump's political identity, took center stage in his second term. The Remain in Mexico policy, previously stalled in courts, was reinstated with a vengeance. A new wave of deportations swept the nation, tearing families apart and sparking fear in immigrant communities. The controversial Locke and Riley Act, mandating the detention of undocumented immigrants accused of even minor crimes, became law. Trump's message was clear: America's doors were closing and only those deemed worthy would be granted entry. Trump, ever the dealmaker, turned his attention to the global stage, wielding tariffs like weapons in a high-stakes game of economic warfare. New tariffs were imposed on a wide range of goods, from Chinese steel to European cars. The stock market, initially buoyed by Trump's pro-business rhetoric, began to show signs of strain. Fears of a recession loomed large, but Trump remained defiant, insisting that his aggressive tactics would ultimately lead to American prosperity. Section 5. Challenging the guardrails, executive power, and the courts. Trump's disregard for established norms and his penchant for pushing the boundaries of executive power reached new heights in his second term. His actions were not just controversial, they were unprecedented in the modern era of American politics. The executive branch under his leadership began to operate in ways that many legal scholars and political analysts found deeply troubling. In a move that sent shockwaves through the legal community, Trump granted pardons to hundreds of individuals convicted of crimes related to the January 6th Capitol riot. These pardons were seen by many as a blatant abuse of presidential power, undermining the judicial process and the rule of law. Critics argued that such actions could set a dangerous precedent, where future presidents might feel emboldened to use their pardon power to protect allies and supporters, regardless of the severity of their crimes. He openly defied court rulings that challenged his policies, testing the very fabric of American democracy. This defiance was not limited to a single issue but spanned various aspects of his administration's agenda, from immigration policies to environmental regulations. Each time the courts ruled against him, Trump and his administration found ways to circumvent or outright ignore these decisions, raising concerns about the balance of power between the branches of government. The question on everyone's mind: how far would Trump go to consolidate his power? His actions led to widespread debates about the limits of executive authority and the role of the judiciary in checking that power. Many feared that if left unchecked, such behavior could erode the democratic institutions that have been the cornerstone of American governance for centuries. The tension between the executive branch and the courts during Trump's presidency highlighted the fragility of these institutions and the importance of maintaining a robust system of checks and balances. As the nation watched, the courts continued to play a crucial role in interpreting the Constitution and upholding the rule of law. Legal battles during this period underscored the judiciary's essential function in American democracy. The legacy of Trump's confrontations with the courts will likely be studied for years to come, serving as a reminder of the ongoing struggle to balance power within the federal government. Section 6. A World in Chaos. Trump's attempts at peacemaking. While domestic turmoil dominated the headlines, Trump also sought to make his mark on the world stage. He inserted himself into long-standing conflicts, attempting to broker peace deals in places like Ukraine and Gaza. His efforts, often unorthodox and unpredictable, yielded mixed results, with critics accusing him of prioritizing spectacle over substance. The world watched with bated breath, unsure of what to expect from the unpredictable American president. Section 7. The People's Verdict. A Nation Divided. As the 100-day mark passed, the nation grappled with the implications of Trump's whirlwind start to his second term. The media was abuzz with analysis, debates, and predictions. News outlets, both traditional and digital, were flooded with opinions and counter-opinions, each trying to make sense of the rapidly changing political landscape. Social media platforms became battlegrounds for heated discussions, with hashtags trending and viral posts spreading like wildfire. In cafes, parks, and homes, people engaged in fervent conversations, trying to understand what the future held for the country. Public opinion, as always, was sharply divided. On one side, there were those who believed that Trump's policies were exactly what the nation needed to regain its strength and prominence on the global stage. They saw his actions as decisive and necessary, a break from the stagnation of previous administrations. On the other side, there were those who felt that his approach was reckless and dangerous, threatening the very fabric of American democracy. The debates were not just about policies, but about the core values and principles that the country stood for. His supporters, energized by his bold actions and unwavering commitment to his agenda, cheered him on. They attended rallies in droves, waving banners and flags, chanting slogans, and wearing their MAGA hats with pride. For them, Trump was a leader who spoke their language, understood their concerns, and was willing to take on the establishment to bring about real change. They felt a renewed sense of hope and optimism, believing that the country was finally on the right track. His detractors, alarmed by his disregard for democratic norms and his divisive rhetoric, grew increasingly vocal in their opposition. They organized protests, held vigils, and used every platform available to voice their concerns. For them, Trump's presidency represented a dangerous shift towards authoritarianism, a threat to the rights and freedoms that they held dear. They were determined to resist, to stand up for what they believed was right, and to protect the democratic institutions that they felt were under siege. The country seemed more polarized than ever, the chasm between left and right widening with each passing day. Families, friends, and communities found themselves at odds, struggling to find common ground. The political discourse had become increasingly toxic, with both sides entrenched in their positions, unwilling to compromise. As the nation moved forward, the question remained: could this deep divide ever be bridged, or was the country destined to remain a nation divided? Section 8. The Legacy of 100 Days, A Nation Transformed. The first 100 days of Trump's second term were a testament to his unwavering belief in his own vision for America. He had shaken up the federal government, taken a hard line on immigration, upended global trade, and tested the limits of executive power. Whether these actions would ultimately strengthen or weaken America remained to be seen. One thing was certain: the country had entered uncharted territory, and the future remained uncertain. Section 9. A Final Word. the unfolding narrative. As we step back from the whirlwind of these first 100 days, one thing is clear. The story of Trump's second term is far from over. The long-term impacts of his actions, both domestically and internationally, are still unfolding. Will America emerge from this period of upheaval stronger and more prosperous, as Trump's supporters believe? Or will it bear the scars of his divisive rhetoric and disregard for democratic norms, as his critics fear? Only time will tell.